In this video, we're going to be taking these set of hooks and forging a set of screwdrivers. Now these came off a ratchet strap, but first we're going to do the spark test. This will give us a rough idea of how much carbon is in the steel. The spark test shows that there is a decent amount of carbon in these. If you look at the sparks, they're very bright and they starburst at the end, showing that there's a decent amount of carbon in these hooks. What I've found when making screwdrivers is a middle to high carbon steel works the best. If your carbon content's too low, it'll bend when you're using it. And if the carbon content's too high, it'll snap while you're using it, which either one is very bad. So having a middle carbon content, something like 1040 or 1060, is best for this kind of work. Now some of these clips may look like the same, like I'm forging two at once, and that's because I am. I filmed both of these being forged because they are going to be forged a little bit differently. One's going to have a smaller head than the other, and one's also going to have a reverse twist, and the other will have a standard twist. On both these screwdrivers, I'm going to forge down one of the ends to a nice fine point, which we will then use to make a 3/4 circle for hanging and for extra grip when using the screwdriver. On both these screwdrivers, I'm going to isolate a spot in the center of our screwdriver, which I'll square up for the twist. Now one important note to make is if you twist round stock, you get round stock, nothing happens. So one of the things you have to do is you have to square up a section, and the more square your section is, so if it has nice sharp corners, your twist will look nicer as well. Then on our other side of our screwdriver, we're going to actually forge the tip. This will be the end used to unscrew screws. Next, we'll put the screwdriver end inside the vise, and our squared up area we will twist with vice grips. This is only going to go one direction because this is a single twist. Our next one, we're going to twist the same direction halfway through our squared up area, and then with vice grips we'll go to the end of our squared up area and twist it the other direction. This really makes a nice twist. Now we're going to make that 3/4 circle used for hanging and extra grip. I'm just going to use a set of pliers and just do this by hand. You can also do this with the horn and the anvil, but this is a little bit more precise. After I get this one into a 3/4 circle, I'll get ready for the quench. We're going to heat these and quench these in vegetable oil. Out of the quench, they had an HRC of about 63. That's too high for a screwdriver, so what we're going to do is put these inside the tempering oven for 2 cycles at 425 degrees. For my screwdrivers, I like the HRC around 55. This means they can be put under a lot of torque and not break, but also not bend. After tempering, we'll take it over to our 1x30 grinder and get it all cleaned up. I use the 1x30 grinder whenever I make smaller projects because it doesn't hog away the material like a 2x72 does. Then I'll take these over to the wire wheel, get them cleaned up, and then we'll do a quick little test to make sure these work. First I'll take it over to my 1x30 and do a quick check. This is a Phillips head and it works fine. This is the smaller bit one. And then our regular bit we're just going to put straight to the side of the grinder and check it, and it works good. Then I'll heat these up and wax them. This will get a rust resistant finish. I really love how these screwdrivers turned out. The whole process was super fun, enjoyable, and for any beginner blacksmith, this is one of those projects that's super easy to do. So, what do you guys think? You all have a good one.